Meghan and Harry seem to be making their way back into the headlines, this time with rumors of a separation going around. Is it all just talk, or are there some signs that we have been missing? Today we're counting down the top 10 Prince Harry red flags we shouldn't have ignored. Are you a fan of Harry? Make sure you leave all your thoughts on the prince in the comments below. At number 10, caught using racial slurs. In 2009, Prince Harry was dealt a huge blow to his reputation when a video emerged of him using racial slurs against members of his own army platoon while they waited to be deployed from Sandhurst Military Academy. In the video, which appears to have been taken by Harry himself, you can hear the prince using offensive language as well as insensitive racial comments. The media referred to this coming out as Harry's latest successful attempt to shoot himself in the foot. His remarks were splashed in the news of the world and were condemned by politicians and some British Muslim spokesmen. Harry, of course, was forced to make a public apology and to try and save the royal family from further embarrassment. In his statement, Harry said that he understood the impact of his words and the offense they could cause. The video was taken a few years prior when Harry was 21, which is certainly old enough to know that what he was saying was unacceptable and unnecessary. The video was relentlessly played around the world, so his apology seemed a little forced, but I guess like most things within the royal family, we just moved on and it was eventually overshadowed by the next scandal. At number 9, stepping down. When Harry announced that he was dating Meghan Markle, I don't think anyone could have ever guessed what would happen in just a few years. In a short period of time, Meghan began being absolutely bombarded by the British press, paparazzi, people online, and many others. Apparently, the general consensus was that she was no good for Harry, a bad fit for the royal family, and as time went on, Markle was only accused of being a horrible person and breaking up the family more and more. The more people talked about Meghan, the more people talked about the potential of her leaving the royal life behind. Some thought that Harry would never join her in a million years, but a majority of people invested saw that nothing was getting in the way of Harry and his wife, including his family. Even tabloids accused her of breaking up the family early on, and as we all know now, that's exactly what happened. Not only did the couple step down, but they went down swinging, milking everything they could out of no longer being royals. With multiple interviews, a docuseries, and a memoir, the couple did not leave quietly, even though a lot of people wished they had. At number 8, sneaky Halloween. It seems that in the past, any chance Harry had to rebel the royals, he took, even following him into adulthood. During the first half of their docuseries, Meghan and Harry, the couple shared lots of personal memories and unseen photos. One specific event they talked about was Halloween 2016. This happened before they went public with their relationship, so I can't imagine the royal family would have approved of the outing. Meghan mentioned the Halloween party when she previously went on Ellen, telling the talk show host that they were in Toronto, and since it was Halloween, it was a perfect time to go out without being noticed. Harry and Meghan shared previously unseen photographs of them along with cousin Princess Eugenie, her husband Jack Brooksbank, and their friend Marcus. Markle shared that this was actually the couple's final night out before spilling the news of their relationship to the public. The group was all decked out in Mad Max style outfits, including hats, goggles, face masks, and some makeup to appear a bit rough around the edges. Whatever they were dressed as in the photos is quite the opposite of what we see when they're in their royal family mode. This alone just proves that he and Meghan were already finding ways to go against the royals before they even went public. At number 7, holding out hope. Of course, in Spare, Harry talks about his mother, Princess Diana. Losing a parent is hard on any person at any age, and grief is quite the thing to deal with, and Harry opened up about what it looked like for him. He reveals in the book that he only cried once after Diana was gone, and it was once her coffin actually went into the ground. After that, there was never another time. The reason he spent his teenage years dry-eyed over his mother is because young Harry didn't believe she was really gone. He told Anderson Cooper on 60 Minutes, "For a long time I just refused to accept that she was gone. Part of, she would never do this to us, but also part of, maybe this is all part of a plan." Harry then revealed that he really believed that she would eventually call and they would be reunited for many years. He also talked about how William and him would even discuss the theory with his brother sharing similar thoughts. Clearly, from a young age, those boys knew that the family had a lot of power to even pull off such a thing. In Spare, Harry writes, "I'd often say to myself first thing in the morning, maybe this is the day. Maybe this is the day she's gonna reappear." Harry said he held on to his huge amounts of hope into adulthood. At number 6, isolated from the family. In his memoir, Harry writes about visiting Balmoral during his grandmother's final days and how isolated he felt from the rest of the family, even though he had just been putting all of his energy into exposing them, talking badly about them, and trying to get as far away as possible from them. Harry returned to the UK after he and Meghan made their official exit for a charity event in London. While he was there, the palace announced that the Queen was under medical supervision at her castle in Scotland. Harry planned to head over to see her right away, so he asked his brother, "What are your plans? How are you and Kate getting there. Since he was already in the UK, it would make sense that he would fly with the family. Harry then revealed that just a couple of hours later, all the members that live within the Windsor area were jumping on a plane together, and he was left to find his own way there. I think the fact that his entire family would rather fly separately is a red flag in itself, but the fact that he couldn't wrap his head around why they would do it only makes it worse. At number 5, a sea of photographers. In their docuseries, Harry and Meghan talked about the press a lot and how they would not leave Meghan alone from the minute the couple went public. One of the images used in the 6-part series, meant to showcase the volume of photographers they face, is apparently from a movie premiere that happened before the couple was even a couple. The black and white image of rows of photographers is included in the teaser for the series just before Harry says, "I had to do everything I could to protect my family." This clearly implies that the photographers in the image were taking pictures of him and Meghan. Well, apparently that's not even close. According to The Sun, the sea of cameras were in reality taking pictures of the cast of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 at the premiere for the film in 2011. Photographer for the publication Doug Seberg, who's in the image, said there were no members of the royal family at the event. Really makes you wonder if they had to use images out of context to prove the paparazzi were bad. Were they really that bad? At number 4, inappropriate costume. In January 2005, British paper The Sun published a full front page photo of Harry sporting an extremely offensive anti-Semitic costume at a party. Not only was the costume offensive and outdated, it was a lazy costume too, just a white shirt and an armband. There are so many other things you can add to a white button-down to make a costume that isn't offensive. The prince was 20 at the time, and after a wave of backlash and criticism, he quickly released a statement of apology. It read, "Prince Harry has apologized for any offense or embarrassment he has caused. He realizes it was a poor choice of costume." Funny that he only realized after the party and not while putting it on. For a family that's not supposed to have any opinions on politics, this is especially not what you want to be caught promoting. To top it off, Harry wrote about the costume in his memoir, and instead of taking full responsibility and just apologizing again, he dragged Prince William and Kate into it, saying they were the ones who encouraged him to wear such an outfit. At number 3, Harry's substance use. Back in the day, Prince Harry went through what tabloids labeled as a wild child phase, as most young men do. A lot of people just brushed his behavior off, especially when it came out that Charles found out about the young prince's experimentation, taking him along to a rehab center for a day. However, it was still a lot of people's impression that Harry was struggling regardless of his father's lousy attempt to steer him straight. In his memoir, Spare, Harry goes into detail about the severity of his problem and that it wasn't just a teen boy being a teen boy, he was trying to cope with the passing of his mother. He admitted that he had a lot of anger inside of him for a long time that he never expressed to anybody. This led the prince to resort to drinking heavily. Harry explained that he wanted to numb the feeling and distract himself. Of course, now he knows that this was not the way to achieve it. Luckily for Harry, his problem didn't get so bad he ended up getting hurt, but a lot of his antics can be explained now that the secret has been confirmed. All of those people who knew something was off with Harry during his wild phase were right. Harry did have a bigger problem than Charles thought. At number 2, remembering wrong. In his memoir, Harry recalls his great-grandmother and where he was upon finding out that the Queen Mother had passed. He gives a painstakingly detailed recount of the phone call he received while at Eton College, informing him of the news in 2002. He wrote, "At Eton, while studying, I took the call. I wish I could remember whose voice was on the other end, a courtier's I believe. I recall it was just before Easter, the weather bright and warm, light slanting through my window, filled with vivid colors. This memory is sweet of him to share, but I think it would be even sweeter if it were true." When it comes to Prince Harry, his entire life pretty much has been documented, so it's pretty easy to fact check. When he found out about his great-grandmother, Harry was not in fact at Eton. Resurfaced paparazzi photographs placed Harry in Gloucester, Switzerland that weekend. A royal commentator, Richard Fitzwilliams, told Mail Online, "With a book so controversial that he can't afford mistakes such as this. If he makes an error in his own memory, what else is he saying that's untrue?" And at number 1, Prince Harry caught naked. 10 years ago in 2012, 27-year-old Prince Harry set out on a boys' trip to Las Vegas. He was on a break before he was set to serve in Afghanistan for the British Army. While in Vegas, he decided to partake in a cheeky game of strip billiards, which clearly isn't his game. Photos were snapped of the prince sporting absolutely nothing but a hand in front of the family jewels. The British media had an absolute heyday with the leaked photos, running them on the front page with headlines like "Harry grabs the crown" and "Here it is." The photo was reposted all over the internet, and even Lady Gaga commented on it saying, "Holy mother, Harry looks fit. Hope no one's mad at him for that, I'm certainly not." The royal family was in fact not pleased with Harry's Vegas antics. After the incident, Harry made a statement, "At the end of the day, I probably let myself down, but it was probably a classic example of me probably being too much army and not enough prince. It's a simple case of that." I think Harry was just having harmless fun with his friends. Clearly, the royal family had their hands full with Harry. I guess that trip he learned that what happens in Vegas does not stay in Vegas. That was the top 10 Prince Harry red flags we shouldn't have have ignored. Did I miss any red flags? Let me know which ones in the comments below. I've been your host for today, Maddie, and I'll catch you later.